But come out here and fall in love. My name is Tevi. I'm an American from New York, and I came to Malaysia maybe 7-8 years ago and found some cats. Formally in sort of April of 2015. Before that, we moved out here in July of 2014. Hello. I'm Tevi at Fair Service, and I've committed myself to creating cat talks every Sunday at 11 o'clock GMT +8. That's 11 o'clock in Malaysian time. I'm in Thailand right now, and so it's 10 o'clock in the morning for me. It's 11 o'clock at the evening in my home in New York. And today we are talking about cats, my favorite subject, and I hope it's yours too, live streaming on YouTube. We have started a YouTube channel called Cat Beach Sanctuary, and we hope you'll find us. And if we get enough people, we'll be able to actually have the name in the title there. But of course, we have also a website, catbeachpenang.com. And we invite you to join us there and learn more about Cat Beach. Of course, we also have Facebook and Instagram. And Instagram, every morning, Cat Beach Sanctuary has a post, and it goes out to Facebook and to Twitter and LinkedIn and other places. And we're trying to reach out to the world. So let's talk about cats, my favorite subject, and I hope it's yours as well. And today I want to really talk about and focus on the idea that we all have superpowers. And so the superpowers that you have now with the 21st century technology, with 2022, we can do a lot for causes we care about. And I want to tell you a story, the story of Honey Bear and how she created the cat sanctuary. Cat Beach, Penang. It's on the island of Penang in the northwest corner in a little fishing village called Teluk Bahang. Our cat talks the past month have really been focused on charity and how we all have so many new powers to help the charities we care about. We looked the first week at empowering charity and how you can create your own fundraising pages on crowdfunding. And we have instructions for that. And if you go to that Cat Talk, or if you're in touch with us, you can always send a message by WhatsApp or SMS, or just give us a call on the Cat Beach helpline, and we'll send you copies of these slides and the information and support you if you're willing to help create a crowdfunding page. And then we talked about volunteering at Cat Beach. We welcome volunteers anytime. You can volunteer at Cat Beach Sanctuary, which we hope you will do. We even have a house where you can stay if you want to come and stay for a while, as long as you're committed to helping the cats. And then we also have virtual volunteering. Of course, the pandemic forced us all to think about ways that we could help causes that we care about through online help, through Instagram and Facebook and all of the other ways that we can do this that we'll talk about a little bit more today. So our idea is that charity begins at home. And so if you take your computer and use it as a powerful weapon for good, you can be a real voice and you can really change the world. Of course, we love it when you come to Cat Beach and help us hands-on. That was our second week. And then we had Dr. Taek An Wang, who did a wonderful video for us. And I hope that you'll watch for that. His interview with me and talking about social publishing and how we can change the world by creating ebooks and other projects. You can see in the picture that Irene, one of our board members, is holding a calendar that was made again by a graphic artist who donated help to the Cat Beach cats. In the month of May, our intent is to really focus on how you can help the cats that you have. Caring for cats is our theme, and that can include how to give your very own cat its best life. And I really want to talk about orphan kitten care. It's kitten season right now. We keep seeing more and more kittens coming in, and we want to make sure that they get some care. But we need help to do that. We just don't have enough staff or space or other things. So we want to look at how to support orphan kittens as well, and regular, and any kittens and their moms too. Community cat care is a real important subject because every one of us can be helping the cats in our own backyard. So how can you help cats? Please join me for these Sunday live streams. We've got lots of things that we can do to share with you about different ways that you can help cats. Today, of course, we want to talk about your superpowers and how you can help cats just by plugging in online. You can really make a difference for any cause, not just for cats or Cat Beach, but for any cause that you care about. One of the things that's really hitting me very hard is all of those cats coming from Ukraine as people flee, or cats that get, and dogs and other pets that get left behind because people have to get away from the war. And so however you feel about the war, we have animals in trouble. And so I don't have funds to spare because I give every penny I've got to supporting Cat Beach Sanctuary. But there is something I can do, which is when I see posts about the situation, I can repost them. I can use my social media power. One organization that I'm very much an admirer of is soydog.org in Phuket, Thailand. And they have reached out to an organization in Poland, which is taking in many of the animals and helping them. And they've committed themselves to raising $250,000 to help the cats and dogs in Ukraine. And so what can I do? I can repost these posts. So you can make a difference without spending a single penny. Today, too, I want to talk about my personal love and the tragedy and the legacy of my beautiful honey bear who passed away recently. And it was a little heartbreaking for me because I'm in Thailand and I couldn't be with her because she's in Penang. And I had to watch her go online. Again, that's part of the connections that we have with the world. I was able to see her and say goodbye over the internet. You can, if you like, we would wonderful if you could subscribe to our mailing list. And there is an article that I'm going to be quoting today. I wrote last week about her legacy. It's taken me some time since she passed to get to the point where I could talk about it. But Cat Beach really needs support, particularly financial support for food and staff and veterinary bills. So you will find out more about Cat Beach and what's up at Cat Beach if you subscribe to our mailing list, which you can find by scanning this QR code, or you're always welcome to send us a message on the Cat Beach helpline. So I want to tell the story of Honey Bear. And Honey Bear was my cat. And I first met her on the island of Langkawi. And she was a little white fur ball when I first met her. Just a tiny little thing. So that was my first impression. she fit in my hand, and she was very beautiful, even as a tiny creature. So I want to share her story with you today. At the same time, I want you to consider whether you might be able to help us to support Honey Bear's legacy, which is this very special place called Cat Beach Sanctuary. Way back, now we're talking 2010, I was visiting the island of Langkawi. I was teaching in Thailand, and I had a holiday, and I went to Langkawi. And I ended up leaving Thailand and moving to the island, and with the idea that I could keep working on writing and sort of retire on Langkawi. And one day, a friend of mine, my roommate, was driving at midnight and with her friend, and a family of cats ran across the road, and they almost killed them. And so the mother cat and the babies ran into the jungle. But there was one little kitten that was frozen in the headlights, terrified. And so they got a shoebox, and they reached out to this cat and picked it up. And they were funny because they didn't really want to touch the cat. They wanted to put it in a shoebox, and that was a very smart solution to the problem. Is if you find an animal that's in trouble, wrap it up in a towel, pick it up in a shoebox, carry it carefully in a cardboard box, go into any store and you can get a cardboard box and rescue it. So they rescued this little tiny creature that was just this, it fit into my hand. It was so tiny. And so I happened to be writing a story for one of my freelance jobs about polar bears. And here was this pure white little tiny polar bear. And so I named her Bear. And over time, as you can see in the pictures, she began to get more color, and she became honey colored. And so she became my honey bear. She was a lovely honey color with the most beautiful blue eyes. Well, I think of her as the founder of Cat Beach, because I would not have done this without Honey Bear. And so she became our CEO, our cat executive officer, as if you will, for Cat Beach Sanctuary. And when I moved there, because I moved from a house in Tanjung Bunga out to Cat Beach, I brought Honey Bear, and she really thrived at Cat Beach Sanctuary. She had been just a pet cat, growing up with me in a house, in an apartment. I lived in a house, a beautiful, actually, container house on Langkawi. But I took her on the ferry boat with me, and also 7 other cats that I had rescued. And we moved from Langkawi to Penang. And we lived in another house in town for about 2.5 years. And then we decided to start Cat Beach. And if it had not been a place where Honey Bear survived and thrived, I would not have committed myself to helping to make sure that this project really continued. But because she was happy there, and because she had friends, and because we were saving so many cats, it became the right thing to do. And hundreds of cats have been saved and sheltered over the years because of Honey Bear. Every penny I have goes to Cat Beach since 2014. But it's been worth it because of the joy and the love and the happiness that Honey Bear and these other cats have brought to me. And I sold my apartment in Honolulu, Hawaii, and I put the money into starting Cat Beach and have continued to be a committed board member and a committed donor to make sure that Cat Beach thrives. But it was really another major reason that we have Cat Beach is because of this amazing woman, Barbara Jansen. And she is a German woman who now about 15 years ago started Four Paws, the dog sanctuary. And our dear friend Paul Penders introduced me to her, and we had wonderful dinners and long talks. And we realized that we had a lot in common. I volunteered and answered the phone and sent messages for Four Paws for a year or so. But we realized that she at that time had about 300 dogs. And we realized somebody had to do for cats what Barbara does for dogs. So she introduced me to Mr. Nana, and this is a picture of Mr. Nana here. And Mr. Nana Binwanchik had been caring for cats on the beach. He was a fisherman, and he has loved cats for many years. And people kept bringing him more cats. And I went out and visited him and brought food and medicine and helped as much as I could. And we realized that there was this tremendous need for help for the cats and for resources that the fishing village just simply did not have. And they didn't know a lot about the standards of care. And there were things that I could do because I had run nonprofit organizations in the past in the United States. So it became clear that Cat Beach needed to exist. And so over time, we created a perfect haven, and people all over Penang then, back in 2014, and now every day we hear more and more reasons why we should have a Cat Beach. When I first moved out there, I had been living in a house in Tanjung Bunga for about 2.5 years. And over time, I had accumulated from the original 8 cats that I brought over on the ferry from Langkawi to Penang. I ended up with 40 cats in my house. I'm not a hoarder. I don't believe that that's a healthy way to live. So I rented Mr. Nana's house on the beach, and his daughter Natasha, who is so kind. He had about 60 cats living freely, most of them free roaming around the beach. I brought the 40 cats out from my house that I gave up, and I moved to Cat Beach with 40 cats. So we had 100 cats to start. And we wanted to do for cats what Barbara does for dogs. And that is to give them shelter, good food, medical attention when it's affordable, and everything we can to help cats. So if you want to know more about Cat Beach, see our website at catbeachpenang.com. So July 2014 was the start. We didn't really open it until April of 2015 because there was so much to do to get the place in order, to learn the protocols, to learn what to do. Because there's a big difference between helping one cat and helping 100 cats originally, and now there are 300 plus or minus cats and many kittens that are living in and around the sanctuary, and it's open to the beach. So it's never going to be fully enclosed. And every day we hear more about more cats in trouble and more cats in need of care. But Cat Beach really has reached its capacity. They call it in the cat feline medicine and sheltering management world, they call it the capacity for care. And Cat Beach has really reached its capacity for care. But we are doing our best, not just to help the cats that are living at the beach, but also all the ones that we get calls about. So there's lots of work to do to help cats, because every single day we hear more about more cats in need of rescue, in need of care. My feeling is that cats are teachers, and it has been a real life lesson. My life took a dramatic turn, and I did not expect to become a so-called crazy cat lady. But because of Honey Bear and because of the value of helping cats, I decided that this was in fact something that I could commit to and have done for the past 10 years. Let's see if I can read some more. I'm sharing Honey Bear's story in part because she recently passed away, and I know that you as cat lovers will understand how deep our bond was and how heartbroken I am. But I'm also very proud that she leaves a legacy. It's more than me, my work and my money that's gone into this, and the support of amazing donors from all over the world who have given their heart and soul and their money and time as volunteers, as donors, as adopters, as foster carers to this beautiful place, the sanctuary on the beach, Cat Beach Sanctuary. And yes, it's got a lot further to go. It's got a lot of maintenance and a lot of renovations and a lot of daily support that is needed. But it's a special place. And Cat Beach is getting better and better every day, one step at a time, small steps, until eventually we hope that it becomes the kind of sanctuary that we dream of. Of course, the issue is food and care and money. And I woke up the other morning and discovered there was 23 ringgit in the operating account, and we can't feed these cats on 23 ringgit. So I'm reaching out with Honey Bear's story and with posts, and but I don't want to do it alone. I can't do it alone. I'm paying about a third of the costs myself, but I can't do it alone. Cat Beach cannot exist without your help. So the pandemic hit hard. For 2 years, we couldn't have visitors, and it used to be that the staff for this organization, the staff to take care of the cats, almost all of them were volunteers who would come and stay with us and sometimes stay as long as a day, a week, a month. One woman, wonderful woman that we cherish her memory, Miss Kari, came and stayed for 3 years. So it is possible that could happen again in the future. But during the pandemic, we had to pay people. We have an extraordinary crew of people who do great work, but we can't keep up with staff salaries. We're not keeping up in the way that we should be with a lot of things for Cat Beach because we don't have the visitors. And now, slowly but surely, the doors are opening again, and we hope that this pandemic will end, please, and that people will be able to return to Cat Beach and fall in love with cats. So just the realities of every morning getting up and thinking, okay, well, we've got to feed the cats. How much is it going to cost? Well, a cat food can be 3 ringgit 50 to as much as 5 ringgit. Now it's up to 5.50 for 1 can of cat food. So it's 4 ringgit to $1. So that's $1.50 a can. That's a lot when you're talking about having to feed about 24 cans a day. And chicken. We believe in chicken. Chicken has saved cats' lives, especially the mom cats and the little guys when they start to wean. They really love to eat the boiled and shredded chicken and then put it in goat milk or kitten milk replacer, and the kittens wean and they don't get the diarrhea. They have to have this chicken. But in the last 2 years, it's gone from 9 ringgit per kg, per kilogram. It is now at 15 ringgit per kg. We buy 2 kg packages of frozen boneless chicken, and they're 30 ringgit a piece. And we use at least 1 per day. So again, this is a basic part of how we can take care of these cats, but it's become almost unaffordable. And we look at the staff costs, we look at the veterinary bills, which run to about 5,000 a month. And thankfully, we have a couple of donors who've been helping us, but right now we owe, I think, about 4,000 ringgit to veterinarians. We go to different veterinarians. We have rent, we have utilities, we have the cost of food, cleaning supplies, the cost for the staff, the cost for the vet, the cost for renovations and repairs. So these are the real costs of running any shelter. And that, I think, is exciting. If you want to learn about shelter management, sometimes people say to me, oh, I'd really love to become a shelter manager. I want to start my own shelter. And I say, well, come to Cat Beach and learn. Work on the administrative side so that you really can look in depth at the budget and how we organize things. And then if you want to work hands-on, something we'd love to have would be somebody else who's devoted to cat nursing and really wants to learn. And if you're studying to be a medical doctor for humans or a nurse, these skills are the same. So come try them out on the cat rather than on humans first. Come and help us with the cat's care. Come learn to give medicine. And there are lots of things that people can do that can enhance your career and your life. Honey Bear certainly has done that for me, and I miss her very much. But I'm very proud that she has left us with a legacy. She was, in many ways for me, I thought of her as our CEO, our cat executive officer. And for the last few years, I've been promoting her, talking her as encouraging people to support Cat Beach Sanctuary. And I miss her so much. So how can you help cats and any cause you care about? There's lots of things we can do. You can be a cat hero. And I'm going to talk about that in part 2. I'm going to take a little break right now, and we will come back with ways that you can make a difference. Not just for cats, but for any cause you care about.